Howdy, and welcome to the Highline Herd podcast, where stories ride strong and the bond between folks and their horses runs deep. Each Sunday, we're talking everything from trail tips and tack to good old horse sense and the people who live it every day. Keep up with the herd by following us over on Instagram at the Highline Herd and swinging by our website at thehighlineherd.com. Now, let's ride into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Highline Herd. I'm Skylar.
I'm Shelby. And today we're going to be talking about horses and the heat. So, it's summertime right now in Ohio, and at this time of year, it's usually reaching 90 plus, and lately we've been having a ton of humidity, so our heat index is regularly over 100.
It's been horrible.
It's been awful. And when you've got horses and the heat index is that high, you don't want to do anything with them.
Yep.
So in this episode, we're going to be covering, how do we deal with the horses in the heat? And how do we, treat our horses? How do we cool them off? How do we make sure they're managing their water intake? And if they do have a heat stroke, how do we first identify that? And what protocol do we follow to fix it?
Yep.
So we'll kind of cover all of that. We'll start by saying what we do with our guys. So when it's that hot, mine don't go out during the day. I stick to overnight turnout, so they're out of the sun, they're out of the heat, they're out of the humidity as much as possible. I have them in their stalls, under their fans, 2 full buckets of water at any given time. So I'm frequently checking water throughout the day to make sure they're drinking, to top them off with fresh water. I keep their buckets clean and cool. So that is how I keep them drinking. That is how I keep them cool in their stalls. Mm-hmm. I hose them off and plop them dripping wet in front of their fans. Scraping a horse has no benefits.
No.
And there are no cons to leaving your horse dripping wet.
Yep. No, I pretty much do the same thing at my farm. Apologies, I have a stuffy nose today. But yeah, I will bring them in for the heat of the day. They usually get night turnout as well. They have access to water, to food, all of that like normal. But I do make sure that their fans are on so that they stay nice and cool as much as possible.
Yeah. And, we always keep salt blocks in front of our horses, year round, that's a given.
Yeah.
But when the heat gets this bad, it's a good idea to start adding electrolytes to your horse's feed.
Oh, yeah.
To boost their hydration, boost their ability to retain the water they're drinking, but it also will encourage them to drink more.
Yep.
So this time of year, all my boys get mashes in the evening because they have meds or something that they don't want to eat solo. So I make sure to make it all wet so it's all mixed together. Mm-hmm. This time of year, I usually make those mashes a little bit extra wet to help hydrate them. If you add electrolytes to your horse's feed and they won't eat it, even in a mash, you can wet their hay, you can wet their feed. Mm-hmm. There's a million ways to get fluids in your horse without just them drinking out of a water bucket.
Well, and we actually cover this in a previous episode.
We do, yeah. Getting your horse to drink and all of that.
Yep.
So that's all kind of what we do. Like I said, I'm going to make this very clear again because I know it's kind of still a hot topic. I know some people are very set in their ways. Scraping a horse has no benefits.
No.
And honestly, scraping a horse, if you look at the studies, does more harm than good. You are making it harder for them to cool off by taking away what is actively cooling them. Mm-hmm. Cold water and a breeze is what will help keep your horses cool and comfortable. Scraping them eliminates that.
Yeah.
So just something to bear in mind, just something to think about when you're dealing with horses. Now, in terms of working, like I said, heat index of 100 plus, we don't work our horses.
No, not at all.
But when the temperatures are reaching over 90, there's certain age gaps I wouldn't recommend working just because of their age. I wouldn't work babies. They're already not used to a lot of work. Mm-hmm. But they're also still young. They're still developing. Their systems aren't going to be as ready to cope with it. I wouldn't recommend working out of shape horses super hard. Mm-hmm. They're not used to it. They're out of shape. Their breathing and everything's going to take a little bit longer to come back. Even the lightest amount of work is going to be twice as hard.
Yes.
Horses overheat significantly faster than people do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and sometimes the symptoms aren't as easy to
diagnose.
It's not. If you have a horse like, say, Chance, who's naturally very lazy and trips anyway.
Yeah.
One of the key signs of heat stroke is a stumbling gait, but if your horse is already fairly trippy and lazy, it can be harder to distinguish.
Yeah.
And you're not going to want to work your senior horses.
No.
I know a therapy barn, and she said, for the past month, because it's been so hot and humid, almost all of her horses that are senior haven't been touched hardly except for grooming lessons.
Mm-hmm.
They've been plopped in their stalls under their fans to keep cool.
Yep.
So, think about the age, think about how much they're drinking, track their fluid intake, track their urine output. Really keep an eye on them to make sure they're staying hydrated, because this is the time of year you're going to see heat stroke and impaction colic.
Oh, yeah.
So,
those two often go hand in hand.
They really do, because, a horse's system is so sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So, those are all kind of things. Those are what we do. Those are what you can do to help your horse. And, in this heat, we just, some of this might be repeat from an old episode, but, this is all very important stuff. And we want to make sure you guys can keep your horses as safe as you can.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that this is information readily available.
Yeah. Nobody wants to, find out that their horse is having heat stroke or having issues because of something that they did or something that they could have done differently.
Yeah. And no one wants that vet bill.
No.
Because it's horses and heat stroke. Horses can actually die very quickly from heat stroke.
Yep.
It's very hard to turn it around in horses, whereas like a dog or a human, you can turn it around pretty easily.
Yeah.
But you can fully submerge a dog and a human in cool water to help.
It's very hard to do that for a horse.
It's very hard. So, let's talk about some of the symptoms of heat stroke now, so you guys can kind of identify it for yourselves and know what you need to tell your vet.
Mm-hmm.
So, biggest thing, track your horse's rectal temperature. Track their temperature, make sure they're good. If it's in excess of 102, 103, if it's that temperature or higher, call your vet immediately. Don't wait. Don't see if it comes down on its own.
Mm-hmm.
That is a huge red flag. If their urine's unusually dark or,
very strong
Yeah.
smelling too, that could indicate that they don't have enough water in their system.
Yeah. If they're sweating more than they normally do, excessive, that can be a sign of it. If their heart rate won't come down after work, that could be a sign of heat stroke. If you notice they're standing in their stalls and they're just like soaked in sweat, they're panting, they're not doing anything, but their heart rate is up, they're sweating, they're panting, those are all signs of heat stroke.
And normal heart rate for a horse is 100 beats per minute. So if it's anything more than that, you need to take measures to help your horse.
For sure, yeah. And like we said, contact your vet.
Yep.
Heat stroke isn't something to mess around with. If you notice any of the symptoms I'm listing out right now, if you notice any of the symptoms Skylar is chiming in with, call your vet.
Yeah.
We cannot stress that enough. Heat stroke is not something you can just fix on your own most of the time.
Mm-hmm. And your vet will also be able to tell you what things you can do before they get there, or steps that you can take to help your horse out as best as possible. And that could be the difference between saving your horse or having a horrible story.
Yeah, honestly, you can do everything you know how to do, but your vet's always going to know something extra.
Yeah.
So, excess sweating, dehydration, stumbling gait, muscle spasms, dry gums, rapid breathing, high temperatures, all of that are your pretty common lethargy. All of that's your pretty common signs of heat stroke.
Yeah.
Some of the more extreme ones are going to be things like muscle spasms.
Yes.
And, they're not going to want to eat. Their respiration rate, their heart rate, all of that's going to be skyrocketed. Mm-hmm. All of those are some of your more severe symptoms.
Yes.
But it can truly start as subtle as just lethargy and stumbling and refusal to really want to do much.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on your horse's personality, you might overlook that.
Yeah.
So those are all things to bear in mind. Is this my horse being normal, or is this something more serious? When it comes to horses, you can never be too careful. Mm-mm. And endurance riders will tell you, watch your horse. Mm-hmm. Because even though it might seem normal, pay a little bit more attention and it won't be. Some of the people who are most aware of their horse's health are endurance riders.
Oh, yeah.
Take a page out of their book and, like, eyeball your horse in this time of year. Really, every time of year, but some of us aren't out as much.
Yeah. Well, and especially with the heat, you know, you get hot, you get sweaty, you get overworked.
Right.
So do they.
Exactly. Like, just as much as you're going outside, like, oh, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
They're very much in the same mindset.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know it's sometimes hard to notice things when the temperatures are this extreme, but, you know, you can go inside under the AC. Our horses don't have much choice.
Unless you have one of those fancy barns.
Yeah,
good for you.
Right? Well, the ones you just close it all up and it's perfectly temperature controlled.
Yep.
That'd be nice this time of year.
That would be awesome.
Especially if your indoor was like a cool 60 degrees year round.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that'd be
great. Sign me up, please.
Right? Oh, it must be nice to have money. So, you know, those are the symptoms of heat stroke. Like I said, some are really subtle. Some are really obvious.
Yes. And it also depends horse to horse, too. Like, you could have a very stoic horse that doesn't show issues. And those are the
kind of have.
Yeah, those are the ones you really have to pay attention to. If you know your horse is like that, just watch them a little bit longer, you know. Make sure you take those extra steps to ensure that they're doing okay after working and doing anything, honestly.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, for my stoic horses, I've got, you know, I've got uber sensitive horses in my barn, and I've got stoic horses. Mm-hmm. The stoic horses are the ones I'm always putting a little bit of extra into because they won't tell me if something's wrong. Yeah. So even if, you know, it's not hot enough, I feel like everybody needs electrolytes. My more stoic horses, I'm still going to give it to them. Mm-hmm. I'm still going to be monitoring their intake. I'll be adding flavoring to their water if I need to. Mm-hmm. But for more stoic horses, I usually go the extra mile because I know they won't tell me if something's wrong. Yeah. So that's always good to bear in mind, too.
Yeah. I mean, with any horse, going the extra mile can save you a lot of time.
Truly, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, with horses in general, going the extra mile almost always works out in your favor. Yep. So what do we do if we see heat stroke and we identify it as that? Well, the first thing is contact your vet. Yes. Don't wait and see if it improves. Don't try to do a bunch of home remedies and then call your vet. Update your vet immediately. Mm-hmm. Make sure you have the information, their heart rate, their respiration rate, and their temperature all on hand. Yep. Make sure you can tell your vet how much they've been drinking, how much they've eaten, how much waste are they putting out. Yeah. Those are all things you want to make sure you're telling your vet when you call them.
Yeah, and most of the time, if you have a good vet, they will ask that too. So it just helps you get the information across to them, what's going on with your horse, so they can help diagnose what's actually happening.
Yeah, and to have all the information ready at hand to immediately, you know, send a text, send a picture, list it off to your vet over the phone. Having that information without them asking can save you seconds of precious time. Yes. With horses, especially in terms of emergencies like heat stroke, seconds do matter.
Oh, yeah.
It can mean the difference between life and death. Yes. So contact your vet. Make sure you have all that information ready to go for them. Yep. Now, you know, here's some of the things you can do to treat heat stroke. And more than likely, your vet will tell you to do these things as well. So put them in somewhere with a good breeze. In front of a fan, outside if it's really breezy, somewhere shaded. Get them out of the sun.
Out of the sun is the big thing.
Yeah. So get them in front of a fan, or if there's a nice breeze in the shade, go stand in the shade. And then once you have them out of the sun, somewhere where the air is moving, start hosing them. Don't start with cold water, though. You don't want to shock their system. Yeah. Make sure the water is cool. Yeah. So it's not freezing, but it's also not warm or hot. Yes. It's just nice and cool. That way you're not shocking their system. And you're going to want to just keep hosing them. Yeah. Focusing on their neck and chest, but really just their whole body. Soak them to the bone.
Yeah. The areas that your horse normally sweats in, you'll want to keep that as wet as possible, too.
Those are the spots you're going to want to really focus on cooling down. Yes. You know, Like we said, contact your vet, track your output of waste, track your horse's respiration rate, their heart rate, all of it. You can't be too anal about this.
Oh, no.
Trust us. Like, take it seriously.
Yep.
And if you notice that, your horse isn't cooling with just regular hosing, you can give them an alcohol bath. So you cover them in alcohol and then you go back to hosing, and that alcohol can help keep them cooler longer.
Yep.
It can help stay on their fur a little longer and really hasten that cooling down process. Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing to start with, get them out of the sun, get them somewhere with airflow, and get the hose on them as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, those are all like, that's how you treat heat stroke. And it sounds really simple, but the reason we tell you to call your vet is your vet's probably going to give IVs.
Yeah.
Your vet's going to give them extra fluids, extra electrolytes, potassium, glucose, all of this stuff they need to cool their system down, to recover. I
mean, just like a hospital would treat a human.
Right.
It's basically the same thing, but horses, it's a lot harder to get them back up once they're doing bad.
So, those are all the things you can do at home, but ultimately, if your horse has heat stroke, make sure you contact your vet ASAP. Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Yeah.
Don't risk it.
Track everything going on with your horse, and as you are hosing them down, make sure you're talking to the vet, like multitask.
Yes.
Don't be like, okay, pony, I'll be back in 10 minutes. I gotta go talk to the vet. Like, try to do it all at once, because the sooner you can cool them off.
Yeah. It'll help them. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit of a shorter episode today, but it's so important, especially really with this heat wave. And it's not just our area that's being affected. It's pretty much the entirety of the U.S. right now.
I know. And, we've cooled down for these past 2 days, but I think that's because the storms that blew through.
Yeah. Well, and there's more storms coming. So the heat's not done, unfortunately.
And, just a little piece of extra information. I know I've touched it on previous episodes, but when you have temperatures like this at such extremes, and then a storm rolls in and all those temperatures plummet, your horse may stop drinking.
Yes. So
electrolytes, regardless of the temperature, helps them drink and stay hydrated.
Yeah.
I go through so many electrolytes throughout the year because I'm not taking any chances. I'm making sure my guys are getting as much liquid in them as possible. I'm making sure they're retaining as much as they can.
Yep.
So, it's been, 90 degrees with like 100% humidity for the past month.
It's horrible.
And then the past 2 nights, it's been dropping into the 50s and it's been cold in the mornings.
Yeah.
So, these kinds of temperature shifts, great time to use electrolytes and keep your horses drinking.
Yeah.
Year round, get them drinking.
Yeah, and it's when you'll want to keep an eye on them even more. Just because really you never know what's happening.
The amount of horses I know that colic just because of temperature shifts.
Yeah.
Like
the really sensitive ones, yeah.
Yeah. And it's 9 out of 10 times it's impaction colic.
Yeah.
They stop drinking and they get impacted.
Yep.
Their system stops moving properly.
Yep.
So this is the time of year. Keep an eye on your horses, guys. Keep those fluids in them. Make sure you have a vet on hand. I know some people don't always have a vet's number in their phone. This time of year, make sure you have one.
Yes. And do your research, too. We talked in the last week's episode about how do you pick your horse's people. It's so important to have a vet that you trust and that is able to come out if something were to happen.
It really is. And you know what? That's actually an excellent point, Skylar. When you're boarding your horse, make sure the employees know how to identify heat stroke.
Yeah.
And make sure they're handling the heat appropriately. If they're still turning out horses in the middle of the day and the heat index is over 100 and the sun is just beating down on the field, maybe you should say, hey, let's not turn my horse out right now.
Yeah.
Because even if they're used to 24/7 turnout, the heat like this,
it's miserable.
They're not used to it either, Like, we never get this hot usually.
No. This has been record-breaking for us here.
So. Oh, in every aspect.
Yeah.
So, when you're choosing your horse's people, make sure they know how to identify heat stroke and make sure they know how to prevent it.
Yes.
Or treat it. Because, horses, we can do everything under the sun to prevent something. And some of them still find a way.
Yeah.
You sit there going, how in the world?
It's like toddlers that
Yeah.
keep getting into stuff that they shouldn't. Yeah.
It really is. So, make sure your horse's people understand all of that.
Yep.
Make sure you understand it. So, we know this episode wasn't as, it was more lecture-y than we try to do, but Skylar's not really feeling great on bouncing back and forth, and this is just information you guys have to have.
Yes.
So that's really what we're focused on, is being it to you.
Yep. So we hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
We hope you enjoyed this week's topic. Join us for new episodes every Sunday. And to keep up with the herd, be sure to follow us on Instagram at The Highline Herd and visit our website at thehighlineherd.com. We hope you enjoy the show. See you next week.